So much for being with us today. It's such an honor. What an amazing, truly amazing film, and one that's kind of unlike anything I've ever seen before. And so you've got to be so excited to not only have this out in the world, but have the great reactions that you've had from audiences across the world, right?
Yes, we are getting it's a good response from the all over the world because the film was released on the March 28th onwards. We are getting a lot of good events and comments from the all over the world. Now, after screening in Netflix, I think the entire the world is joined with our film.
To add on to that, our film was very widely accepted in back in India. It's a huge country,
Mhm.
and it did extremely well in the Middle East as well, where because a lot of Indian migrants and a lot of Indian population you have, they all relived. A lot of people have gone through similar stuff, so a lot of people relived their journey again. And it was even we released all over the world. It was released in America, it was released in UK and Australia and different parts of the world. And we did get extremely good responses from all the countries. And as the director Blessy was saying, we have the film on Netflix, and now we're here, in US campaigning, and it's been a great journey, and yeah.
So first of all, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for being here. I know I introduced myself, but my name is Anya. I'm 17 and a huge, huge fan of not only Bollywood, but movies across the Indian subcontinent, which is why when I saw your movie, it absolutely jumped out to me. And I want to say congratulations on the success of The Goat Life. And as Paul said, it's a movie that people have never really seen before, but it's an experience that so many Indian migrants go through. So, what compelled you both, especially Mr. Blessy, the director, to tackle such a nuanced topic, and how did you go about it?
Actually, this is a true story. I adapted from one of the famous novel, uh, and from that I adapted the story and all. And also in India, not only in India, Pakistan, and the third world, people are going abroad for better life. That's a very common phenomenon in all over the world. So this story is one of them only. I think so many people can relate to the thing.
Yeah, because even in these modern times, we still, from back from India, we still have people who travel to different countries, and to so therefore a lot of people relate to the subject. And as you were saying, it's a true story.
Yeah.
The guy who has have been in this journey, he's back in India.
Mhm.
And when we were doing a research, and when we were going through the book, and which is one of the bestseller back in India, the
Yeah.
novel, and we have heard a lot of stories. We have heard a lot of people who had such hardships, who had their own journey. And that's when we thought that, this is a film which needs to be told,
Mhm.
about, all, everyone, we all love to listen to the success stories, because a lot of people have traveled to different countries and they've done it big, they're doing extremely well. But here it is, there's a story where no one, even uh, gives it full attention to. But here's
Mhm.
the story of a man who has gone through things which is so unimaginable, and still survived. Um, so that, uh, that man's story is something it had to be told, and that is when he decided, let's do this.
Well, there's no better person to tell it than you guys.
He's the man to
Absolutely.
do that.
Well, you did a fantastic job with it, and I know people will find the story inspirational, and also, just being able to go through this medium, and people look up to what both of you do, and they think, see, that's what I want to do, but you just make it look easy. So, what kind of advice would each of you offer to somebody that wants to follow in your footsteps and tell great stories like this?
I think it's all about uh, you know, the passion and the love towards the craft. For example, now to make this film, he took around 11, 12 years. It was 11, 12 years ago when he read the book and he decided to make the film and he started work on it. It took 6 years to make the film, to shoot the film, because every year we had a schedule. We lost a year or so, more than a year or so due to COVID, but still, the whole planning of the film took us 6 years. Every year we used to do schedule depending on the actor's transformation, the weather in the desert. So, not to give up. The whole passion towards you, whatever happens, like, he gives the most inspiration he used to tell the whole crew is that for him, filmmaking is a war, and he wants to win the war. He said, let's keep going at it till we achieve what we need to achieve. And that is the moral of the story, which we got from the script as well. Because in the film, even the main actor, Najib, he pushed himself, he fought within himself, and the hope and faith and everything with put together how he survived. And he said, everyone has Najib inside them, because everyone has their own journey, everyone has their own hardship and struggle. You need to fight through it, you need to face challenges and thrive on it. So he said, we need to do that as well, keep it going. And I think it's a passion, because he lives, breathes everything, just films. There's nothing for him else.
Sometimes I think we struggled, our team struggled a lot more than Najib in desert. Actually, in the real story, in the real things, he crossed the desert within 2 days. He find the road. But in the story, we are almost 7 days without water because, and also we are in the sandstorm and lot of different conditions. Sometimes we will slept in the desert itself like that.
So that's what we used to always, after all the schedule and after all the filming, we used to tell that even though we're shooting one Najib, the entire crew was Najib. We spent 150 days in the desert filming the film. So each one of us became a Najib and has a different story, the struggling survival story.
And also in the COVID time, pandemic time, we start in the desert almost 72 days. That also a very wide experience to us. Because not only about the food and all, because the people from the different language, the different country, so they are very scared to their condition, because they are scared to their family, because in all our spread up the COVID things and lot of death and all. So people are we are isolated around 85 members in desert. That's a very difficult time.
Mhm. Well,
So would you say the same thing, Blessy, as your advice would be to not give up as well?
Never give up.
Yeah.
Advice to the filmmakers: never give up. He tells everyone in the crew, and he believes in that, and he lives with it. He said, whatever happens, never give up. You should do what you need to do in life. It could be anything.
We are committed for filmmaking, and that's I don't think it's anything glamorous or anything outstanding. better life and all. But we are committed to filmmaking, so we have to face a lot of struggles and all. So that's, I think, I am believing, from a small country that were from the South Kerala. We are here now. That's the reason.
That is such an incredible message, and definitely the theme of working hard and always making sure to get at it is not really present in the movie, is not only present in the movie, but with you guys and your success as well. One thing I wanted to ask is when people are watching this movie, what is one thing about the migrant experience that you think they should take away for people who maybe aren't immigrants, or if they are, like my family, we've had a very different experience than the one portrayed in this movie? What would you like them to take away?
Actually, the some part of is the for migrant and all, but this is a common phenomenon because once we are alone somewhere without speaking our language, because sometimes we can understand the others' language. We don't have to communicate properly. That itself is a very struggle for, because that man is not educated, he don't know any language. In that the story is happening in the 90s, so that time they don't have any mobile phones or no internet or nothing. So he's living with the animals, and his language with his communication is with the animals only. He's gradually is transformed like an animal. This condition can happen in anywhere. If we are staying alone, our behavior, our language, everything will change, and also mentally we deteriorated, and we have some sadness, and after a long time we are not using our language. Sometimes we will forget the language also, like that. So that's a very transformation. He lived there in 3 years, so he changed like his post gestures. Everything is like, because you can notice that in the after the uh, he is eating in the cave and all. He is eating like an animal. So this condition is happen in everywhere, because some of them depressed, and uh, in the when the last breath, uh, he is holding his hope. That's the very good message to all of them, because we have to hold our hope and faith for whatever the condition is against to us. We have to hold our faith and hope till the last breath. That is our tagline. Every breath is a battle.
What an incredible story, and definitely something that I hope everyone who takes away from it learns, because I definitely got a feeling of hope and also just a better insight into what it's like truly to be an immigrant, because we can all relate it in some way to the movie.
Absolutely. And there's always the great fight that we talk about over here. We call that the Hail Mary, that moment in your life or career where you just had to kind of go for it and make it work for you. What do you suppose that moment was for each of you that where you just kind of had to make it work despite all of the odds?
Um, uh, Actually, during filmmaking of especially on this project, from day one we had all odds. We've been facing all kinds of struggle and hardships, and there were always hiccups. And so I think throughout the filmmaking, that's what we've done, and we've just gone through with the whole, uh, enjoying the whole process. And yeah, I think anything you want to add?
I think the desert shooting is something different from. It's a very challenging thing. So because in the mid of Sahara, we have to reach there is very difficult that we made the path and everything
Yeah.
and like that. So
Like for example, even now, in the film, we had this oasis, and while we were scouting the place, when we found this place, and we had to make up the whole water body and everything, our production department, our department, we had to make a road which leads towards the oasis to film it, and it took us almost 2 weeks to make the road. And a week before a couple of days before the shoot, a huge sandstorm hit and it got covered again, so the vehicles couldn't go pass through. We had to do the process again. Again, we had to make roads which is around 4 to 5 kilometers inside the desert, and then so that the whole crew goes in and shoots. So especially filming in the desert, every day we had, because it's a new phenomena, because it's nature and it's
every
all
day desert is changing. So
changing.
once we fix some location and we
Yeah,
put some flag there because we have to identify the area.
area.
But the next day, maybe the flag is not there. The desert shape and everything is totally changed with wind and all.
Yeah,
That's a very
it's a tough phenomenon because especially when you have not completed the scene and there's a continuity, and the next day the shape of the desert has changed. The dunes, shape of the dunes have changed. So, and also identifying, getting the crew in there, making sure the desert is all untouched, where the area of the frame where we are filming. So everything, and COVID, getting our lead actor had to lose around 70 pounds, and he had to do it twice. And I still remember, he lost 70 pounds, and we were in during COVID schedule. We were there. We shot for a few days, and then we got stuck there. So Blessy sir used to go and ask the actor, saying, "Now, what do we do? You'll have to lose again." So he just turns back and he says, "Yes, we don't have another option. I'll go back and try to lose 70 pounds again." And 70, losing 70 pounds, even for the actor, he lost 70 pounds. We had cut salt, sugar, water, everything from his body. So he was very fragile as a person, and filming in the desert in this heat. He fainted, I think, a couple of times on set as well. So uh, it was the whole journey in front of the camera was difficult. Behind the camera was even more harder.
It's like this whole movie was kind of your Hail Mary moment in that way.
It
Right.
is. We had throughout the schedule, we had such. Like, for example, there was another scene which I'll just add up to that as well, where Najib and Hakim, the two characters, meet in the desert. Now,
after
after 3 years. So they're meeting, and right before the meeting, it was drizzling. So therefore, director wanted the whole area to be wet. Now, we had, initially we tried to get in these big water tankers. Now it's not a small area. You have the background, huge mountains. You have the whole vast desert in the background. So you need to wet that whole place. So getting these big vehicles there was really tough. It took us one whole night to create road, get these big tanker vehicles in, and also those that scene every day we used to shoot only for we had our filming time was only 45 minutes to an hour max because of the light, because it was evening. 4 to 5 is what exactly we had time. So every day for the next 10 days we shot 2 shots each a day, sometimes one shot, because the light was very crucial.
Well, all the hard work that came in definitely paid off. Paul,
Yeah,
there's something you want to add?
it definitely did. Well, that it's a fantastic film. We can't wait for everybody to see it. Anya, you want to close us out here?
Yes, I do. I wanted to, again, this movie, The Goat Life, was absolutely incredible. I not only thoroughly enjoyed watching it, but I feel like I learned so much from it. I'm so excited to see both of you see what projects you have coming up next, because you guys went through so many hardships in this movie and it still came out absolutely perfect. I just can't wait to see where your creative minds do next.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us here. And it was, great talking to you guys. And I'm glad you like the film. And I'm hoping everyone who watches the film will love it too. Will experience the film and will take something in their heart back home. And just hoping for the best. And thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We appreciate you. Okay,
Thank you.
bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.